And if you're a big fanfiction reader and you like reading about like werewolves and like ABO dynamics, where I mean alphas are a whole thing, and you know, like anyway, then I really think you're going to love this book because it feels like fanfiction but on paper. Hello everyone, welcome back on my channel. Today we're going to go on a shopping spree. I'm at work still, but I didn't have time to film this intro anywhere, so here we are. As you know, this is Pride Month, and since my channel used to be a book review channel, I thought it would be nice if I brought that back a little bit and just took you on a shopping spree with me, because I heard that in one of the bookshops I like to go, there is some kind of special promotion that involves 2 free books if you pick 3. And as a bookworm, I was very interested in that, especially since I know that this specific bookshop like to do display, and it's like thematic display, and I know they did something for Pride June. So yeah, let's take you to my favorite bookshop.
Six hours later.
I am back after a much needed nap and an outfit change, since I'm at home now and I wanted to wear something a little more comfortable. My trip to the bookshop was kind of a failure because they didn't have the thing I thought they were gonna have. Like last year they had a whole queer display, and there was one to some extent, but not with books that I would be interested in, or either books I already had, like all of Alice Oseman's novels, since they're my favorite author in the entire world. But I still found some pretty great picks, and I didn't check if they're new because I had heard of all of them at some point. I know that one of them is pretty new. I think it came out in early June, maybe like at the end of May, if I'm not wrong. But the other 2, I heard so much about it already, and when I finally had them in front of my eyes, I had to just pick them up and buy them. So the first book we have, and sorry for the fact that the image is reversed, I will be just putting the cover here, is Imogen, obviously, by Becky Albertalli. I think she's pretty known in the YA world by now. She's the author of Love, Simon, and also Leah on the Offbeat and other novels, I believe. I chose this one because the summary made me laugh a lot already, and I always liked Becky's writing. It's nothing like revolutionary, but I think she writes great and compelling characters. She knows how to write tension. She knows how to write friendship groups that feel real and like real dynamics and everything. Like the way she writes young adults and teenager is pretty spot on, from what I could read from her. The story sounds like a lot of fun, and we all have this one ally, right, in our friend group who ends up being queer as well at some point. And I don't know, I think that's funny, and I like the fact that nowadays in YA and novels and other things, we get to see more diversity in queer stories. Like, I'm sure there is a book similar to this one, the plot I mean, but I haven't read it yet, and I don't know, I think it's nice to see other subjects being explored, because this is something that really does happen in real life. So yeah, I thought this could be a fun ride. The second book I chose is May the Best Man Win. It's been a while since I've heard about this book, and when I saw it, I just freaked out because I was so interested to read it. Basically, we have a trans mask representation, and the plot feels again very funny, very fresh. I don't know this author. I don't know if they wrote anything before, so maybe I'm going to be reading it and find that I don't vibe with the way they narrate stuff, but that's a personal thing, so I guess we'll see. And I don't know when I'm going to be able to read it, but I will read it. It's quite short as well, yeah, it's not that big, so it should be okay. And yeah, I don't know, it's very intriguing. It sounds again like something fun, and you know what? It actually sounds like something that could be adapted into a movie. Imogen obviously could also be adapted in a movie, and I really hope that we'll reach one day the stage where YA's movies that are just like fun and targeted at queer audiences will be able to come out more and more. We have Bottoms, I think that's the name of the movie, that will come out soon. I don't remember the date, maybe in like August or July. And that sounds like a lot of fun as well. So yeah, hopefully in the future we can have more of that, because like you probably know if you're a casual watcher of mine, but I'm getting kind of tired of always seeing the same kind of storylines. Like it's always people figuring out their sexuality and like all of that. And of course it's necessary and it's good that we can choose now because we have so much diverse stories about that. But me personally, as a queer young adult, I'm like tired. Like I want to see just people being queer and living stuff and happy and funny stuff, like rom-commy stuff if I can choose, because I'm also getting tired of always seeing drama and just sadness every time. So yeah, this sounded like a light and funny read, so I just bought it and hopefully I'll read it this summer. The third book I chose is Ophelia After All. Now again, I had heard about this book, and when I saw it, I jumped on it with my like claws and everything. And I'm very interested in this one because I haven't read that much YA about like trans femme characters. And I didn't read it, and I haven't read any other thing that the author wrote before, so I don't know if the writing is any good. But there is a specific phrase that like caught my attention when I was reading the summary, and I want to read it to you guys. As her secrets begin to unravel, Ophelia must make a choice between clinging to the fantasy version of herself she's always imagined, or upending everyone's expectations to rediscover who she really is after all. I don't know, that sounds very interesting, and that's basic YA stuff, right? Like you take a character in like in the beginning of his 20s, or like right after high school, and you throw them into the world and they figure out stuff about themselves, and that's basic YA stuff. But to me, as a 24-year-old, it's appealing. I'm also guessing this book has great representation because both of the main characters are of Latinx or Hispanic descent, I assume, and the author seems to be as well. So that's always great when you can get like real and meaningful representation, like I'm sure this book is doing. So yeah, I'll let you know when I read it. And like the other one, it doesn't look too big. So yeah, I'm excited to read this one. My last pick of the day was The House in the Cerulean Sea. I hope I said that right because we have the same word in French and the pronunciation isn't the same. So anyway, I chose this one as the last book I was going to present you because this will help me segue into the other recs I have for you. The author is TJ Klune, and it's one of my favorite authors in YA, I think. This book specifically, it's been on my radar since at least like 2 years maybe, and I didn't have the time to purchase this, but now I have it and I cannot wait to read it because I've been waiting for it. What drew me to this book is how peaceful and like, I don't know, like I love romance obviously, and there is going to be romance in this book as well, but from what I could tell from just quickly going through it, because this is a book that we purchased in the library I work at, I know that the point of the story mostly is going to be centered on like human relationships as a whole and the way we connect with each other, and this is a common theme in TJ Klune, but I love the way he uses fantasy to like make a parallel with queer lives and the queer experience as a whole. And this is also what this book is going to be about, because it's going to be about like kids being young and being rejected by society and like maybe feared because they have like some kind of power that people don't understand, and also like abandoned by their families, I think, because they're orphans, right? Wait, let me just check. Yeah, that's basically it. It's really compelling to me, and it's pretty new as well. Like I haven't read anything like that ever. The only thing that could maybe make me think about it a bit would be I totally forgot the name of the books, but I think it's the Peregrine's Children or something. I'll put it right there. This is the vibe this book is giving me, except that Mrs. Peregrine and the like children thing, it's more horror, it's more gothic, it's more Neil Gaiman-ish. And this doesn't feel like Neil Gaiman. It feels more like a fairy tale. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but that's the vibes I'm getting. I just know this is going to be a comfort read for me. So like I said, I wanted to use that to just segue into the other picks I have for you. So I've been talking about TJ Klune, and he's one of my favorite authors because he just made a werewolf saga, like a queer werewolf saga. And if you're a big fanfiction reader and you like reading about werewolves and like ABO dynamics, but like ABO in like a non-werewolf universe, like ABO where, I mean, alphas are a wolf thing, and you know, like, anyway, then I really think you're going to love this book because it feels like fan fiction, but on paper in the best way possible. Like, I'm not saying this like as a way to diminish his works. I will maybe address the age difference between the two protagonists, and they don't like engage in any relationship before they both of age. And since we're in the heads of one of the protagonists and is the one who's older, we know for sure that while the other one was younger, there were no sexual or romantic feelings toward him. Like it came out long after, and I would be engaged to like give this saga a free pass with the age difference because it's in fantasy, you know, like they're werewolves and witches or like wizards, sorceress, whatever. I don't want to like spoil it too much, but it's fantasy, it's a fantasy world. So the rules we have in our universe don't really apply in this universe as well. But, and that's where to mention it, the age difference is actually discussed in the book, and this is something that the first main character, because like the we have different POVs for all the books, the main character is very like struggling with it in the beginning because he does not want to be in a relationship with someone who's younger than him. And I don't remember the age difference exactly, but I think it's maybe like a 5 years gap, maybe 7, I don't know. But so anyway, it's not like invisible, it's not silence, there is discussion about it, but I just wanted to give a trigger warning in case this is something that like is a huge no. Maybe don't read those books, and if you love superheroes, then you definitely need to check out his series The Extraordinaries. I still haven't read the last book. I think there are 3, and I read the first 2, but it's so freaking good. Like if you, like me, is a big sucker for superheroes mixed with a lot of queerness, then you're going to love this saga. I wouldn't say it's fresh because it's pretty like conventional as far as like superhero stories go. Like there is no really big surprise and everything, but it's very fun to read, it's very refreshing, the characters are very easy to love, and if I had to give you any other argument to convince you to read it, just imagine a superhero who's a drag queen. Doesn't that sound fun? It is. It's so fun. If you're more of a thriller / horror person, then I can rec you She's Hunting that I read about like a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. You can feel that this is a very authentic story, even if there are like some supernatural element to it. There is a very heavy message about colonization. I hope I said that right. I'm so sorry. I struggled with the pronunciation of long words in English. I think this is in Vietnam, if I remember correctly, because there were like the French colonies and everything. The ending is complex, I'd say. If you're a fan of thriller and horror, and especially like body horror and stuff, and you like suspense, then I think you might enjoy this book. And my last recommendation for you guys are going to be those. Sadly, I haven't read them yet, but I'm just a sucker for pretty covers, and look at the covers. Aren't they pretty? They're so pretty, right? For all the books I rec in this video, I will be leaving like a link to Goodreads so you can read the summary and get a feeling of what the story is about with the tags and everything. So you will find the summaries for those books there, but I don't know, like, other than saying that they look pretty, they look fun, and I'm just very happy now that they're on my shelf. I don't really have anything else to say. Yeah. Thank you so much for sitting with me and watching this video. I hope this wasn't too like annoying for you guys. I know that it's been a long time since I've made a video about books, but since this is my everyday job, because like I mentioned, I work in a middle school library, books are a pretty big thing in my life, and I just wanted to bring this aspect of the channel back because, I mean, this channel is called Love My Shelf. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, right? Hopefully this was fun. Maybe I introduced you to books that you've never read before. I really hope so. Please let me know in the comments if you read any of the books and if you like them. You can also tell me if you read them and dislike them, like that's perfectly fine. As long as you're not being like hateful or anything. You're free to have your own opinion about things. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please leave comments, subscribe, follow me on Twitter if you want. And until next time, I hope you'll celebrate June with pride and friends. And I wish for nothing but your happiness.